What is up, everybody? Thanks for joining this morning. Hope you got your coffee. Today, we're going to be talking about Axeptio. If you've never heard of Axeptio before, you're familiar with products that are similar because if you go to websites or you download an app, you engage with consent management platforms, which allows you to engage with websites and allows websites to capture your data, advertise to you in the future, and really learn your preferences. So today we're going to jump in. If you build websites on WordPress, Shopify, or Webflow, or any website for that matter, Axeptio can be applied on your website. It elevates the consent experience for your customers and allows you to get that vital data. Today, we're going to be focusing on Webflow, though, one of my favorite website builders, because it has a lot of different features that I use for my clients. And I think it has a modern touch. So right now, you can see my website is live here. And Chasing Creative, this is my marketing agency. And we work with tons of brands around the globe. And here in the corner, and I've made it purple so it's easy for you to see, is Axeptio's platform in action. What this does is allows you to click and see how your data is being tracked on a website, and then you can choose from preferences. So don't sell my information. I want to choose. Okay, got it. So you're saying, hey, I'm okay to move forward. And this is called opt-in. And one of the main goals for marketers and website managers is to increase the opt-in. If you increase opt-in on your website, that means the customer is giving you consent to track and utilize their data. The most important part I haven't mentioned is around the globe, this is actually mandatory by law for different zones and regions, such as GDPR, which is in the EU. We also have Law 25 in Canada, CPA in California here in the United States. And as I've shared and mentioned, over 19 states in the United States already have privacy and data laws on the books. So they're going to be expanding. And so today I want to show you how to install Axeptio on Webflow. Thank you for joining in. I think it's going to be a good time to chat with you all. I'm going to start do these every several weeks because I think it's helpful for people to see exactly how Webflow and Axeptio can be installed together and work together in tandem. And then also how easy it is for you as a business owner to make sure that your website is compliant, but then also make sure you're tracking the data in a way that allows you to be above reproach. So let's dive in. Again, here is the consent widget here that pops up. You're able to totally customize how this looks and feels on your website based on your branding, preferences, and more. We also have a tool called Shake that's built into the platform that will scan your website for you and make recommendations for your website, including branding and the different regulations you should have a widget for. So if we click this, you can see you have the options. What I love most about Axeptio, and I think users love too, is that you can see the exact platforms, tools, and cookies, which are being put on the website to be able to track in your browser for customers that are on and off. And you can customize as the website visitor which one of these you want to use. And most people will probably deny all or accept all based on speed and usability of websites. But for those who are okay with some of the different tracking tools, because it's not using their personal information or they like the company, whatever their personal preference is, this allows for a really great option of transparency for your visitors. So as you can see here, I have, Google advertising products on my website, for remarketing. Here we have Google Analytics 4, so I can measure how my website is doing. We have Microsoft Clarity, which is a great tool to A/B test and see different heat maps and get analysis. They actually have AI built into there. So happy to see that we have that as a direct integration in HubSpot. And so I should mention all of these are built into the platform of Axeptio. So you really just have to click and it'll be added to your widget. So I'm going to leave this open here for a second. And now let's move over to Webflow. I want you to see what this looks like. So in Webflow, there's an app store. Axeptio is a direct integration to Webflow, which is really cool, meaning it's already set up for you. You don't have to deal with Google Tag Manager, which is also an easy tool as well to install Axeptio. You click, copy a couple lines of numbers and codes for your project ID, put it in, and it takes about 3 minutes to set up. We made it even easier where you can actually go to the store here on Webflow. The other side of this that I think is really important for folks to see is that Webflow has approved our app, Axeptio. and we're relatively new on the platform, but you can see all of the different information you have here to be able to be legally compliant with your website. And I'd be remiss to not mention that we are on over 80,000 plus websites and mobile apps around the globe. And so privacy laws are changing and dynamically, and it's important to be following up on that. And so you can go in here and see more details and what some of the benefits are. And I'll just read through these really quickly, and then I'll show you directly. Beautiful and customizable, which is fantastic because a lot of these widgets or banners or pop-ups that you see on websites aren't tailored to the brand. And we really want to change that. We think that opt-in rates led by design are a great way to maximize potential. Multi-language support. One of my favorite parts about this too is that we have AI built into the app that will translate it. Of course, you have to audit and make sure that it's perfect in the way that you want it to be said, but you're able to duplicate the widget in the back end and then change the language based on the translation that you need in different locations. So if you have different nations, different languages coming to your website from different parts of the world, you can be compliant in that region, but then also have language that people love to have, reading in your first language. Always compliant, obviously, we mentioned that. Built-in analytics, and I'll show you what that looks like in the back end as well. And then, as I mentioned, the shake cookie scanner to detect third-party cookies and things like that you should have on your website. So that's awesome. All the different features are mentioned, and we have enhanced security, Webflow approved. I love that. Again, a big Webflow fan, and you can see all of our different customizations here. So let me exit out of this. So now you can see where you would install Webflow, webflow.com, or Axeptio on Webflow would be webflow.com/apps, and you can type that in there. Once you do that, you'll basically have to approve authorization. And I'll show you quickly on the back end here. So you can go to apps and integrations in your settings and see all the details here. Here's some that I have installed on my website right now. Let's go to all site settings. This is where you'll see all your different websites. I have some dummy websites here, but here's my main website that I'm using. Click into that, give it a second to load. Okay, so this is your main page. As you can see, you're not seeing a pop-up here for the widget right now because you're in the builder. To add Axeptio, you just go in and click here. You can see mine's already connected, but you would launch once it's installed. And when you install through the page I just showed you here, you'll be able to also go through these steps. So don't worry. Authenticate. This is giving Axeptio approval to go on your website. And that's going to open up a new window. Log in. You'll put in all of your permissions. And now this is important. So you want to select the website that you want Axeptio to access. So if you're using multiple websites, great. But for now, I'm just going to choose this exact one. Authorize app. It's that easy. And then a new window will open. And that will bring you to the actual website, which looks like this. So this is the back end. This is where you're going to be doing all the work that will be published on your website. The app, Axeptio, is a plugin in an app on Webflow, but you can manage it here and you can manage it on all of your websites. And if you have a mobile app, all in one place. So I really love this because you're not kind of having to bounce around based on where plugins are. You can manage all of your website information here. So I actually set up new cookie integrations this morning before this call. It took me probably 5 or 10 minutes. I didn't really customize too many things, but I was able to launch 3 different banners across zones. And so here, as you can see, my banners, and you get notifications here on the process that you're in. So I have one for the EU, which is important because I have customers in the EU that visit my website. I have one for the US. And then I have one recommended based on a scan that I did using the Scan Your Website to create a banner. And this took probably 4 or 5 minutes to do. And it recommended Law 25. So likely because I have web traffic coming from Canada and then also being based in the US, that's a good one to have. So it's probably auto recommended from that perspective. I can unpublish any of these at any time. Let's say I want to change up my language or I'm doing a campaign or I'm really just focused on one of these. Here's what I mentioned about the translate. Change all the language that's here into a different language. Maybe I do French because I have clients in France that want to check out my website and I put it there so that way they can understand it in their first language. And then basically from here, you're able to customize everything you want. So if you go in, let's click the US because that's the one I just set up. You can see here's how your widget looks and you can see that's reflected here, right? If we go back to the website, this is what pops up here. And I love that animation. Again, style is so important for first touch with customers. So let's go back over to Axeptio and we can see all the different options that are here. And it even allows you to kind of toggle around and play with it. So let's go to the welcome screen, which is what this is. We're going to click into the welcome screen and we can customize anything we want. How we use your data via cookies, whatever you want it to be. You could say, let's get creative, like you can customize it to your branding. Now, this is super important if you have a certain business that you really want to identify, even with your cookie tracking with your banner. This is something that I think most people overlook, and Axeptio is on a mission to like help companies with this, because you see usually the banner at the bottom, it's just like opt in or opt out. There's a lot of issues there. One, it's not customized to the brand. You build a beautiful website, or you have an agency build a website for you, and it misses the mark. It's not good as far as an experience goes, and it doesn't represent your brand. Here you can see my branding's on there. They know this is from Chasing Creative. It's not necessarily a third party. It integrates with my website really well. It has the information that's needed, and then it has kind of the extras too that you can click and add on. So here you can type in any information you want. You can customize that, and then you can see the colors and things here. That is really just going to colors and styles, and you can reflect that across all of your different components. So you can see the paint colors here. You could change that. You can do primary colors as your brand colors, which is always great, and your base colors. So there's a lot of cool different things that you can customize. The positioning, the font, which I love. I love personally, I think brand fonts, you want to use them across all of your print material, your third-party widgets, any kind of apps you're using, anything that is customer facing, your social graphics. Using your font is just a subtle way to elevate your brand overall. So definitely recommend that. So let's go back to the banner here. And so I've set up cookies. I have this little widget here that I need to delete. That's why you're seeing an extra tab, but let's ignore that for a moment. But here are my cookies that I actually set up. So you just click new. I'll go through the steps so you can actually see. And you can have different information here that people can click through. So if you want to group up items, let's say I have a lot of different analytics apps that I'm using, which is quite often true because I use tech stack. I try out a lot of tools on my website for my clients. And so analytics and stats, you have that there, user experience. And so it's going to group basically all of your cookies for you, email tools, so people can know and break it down. And so you think from a high level, a lay person might come to your website and they see all these different analytics tracking. It can be kind of overwhelming. So being able to group these is a great way to do that. On my website, I only have a few installed right now. So I just did, here are our cookies. You go into here, and boom, you're able to then now click back in, and then you can select the different cookies that you want. So you can add a new cookie. So here you can see the ones I have. I can turn them on and off. I can put toggle all switch here. So if people want to do that or make it individual, kind of force the user to do that. And then to add a cookie, you just go to our cookie library. Let's see. Let's go back here. I think I'm clicking too many things. So let's jump back into the cookie library here. I think my Wi-Fi timed out. So we'll give it a second here, coffee break. Let me check to see if there's any questions that y'all have. Pop over to LinkedIn. Perfect. Okay. So likely something with my Wi-Fi here. Double checking the live, make sure we're going good. Okay, we are good. All right. So let's jump into what we're going to do here as far as add the new cookie. Okay, so this is what you should see. So you can see we have over 1,433 to date cookies. Well, you're not going to necessarily want to scroll through all these, but you can actually just type in what you want. So for me, I'm like Google. Okay, what do we have for Google? It's a common used tool, whether it's Firebase or Google Analytics 4. You simply click that. I already have it installed, so it might not queue here. Save and quit. So once you've done all this, you've picked your banner, you've changed up the style. You could check if there's any other analytics tools you want to integrate. I have Google Analytics 4, but you can use whatever you want for that. You now just go to publish, and you can choose which ones you want to publish the new changes to. You can toggle all, but we only updated the US. So let's do that. Publish. You can see it's working over there. So again, you could do this for multiple websites, apps, whatever it is, and it will go and cache and go live. So I've changed up a lot of settings. So I'm running it through the ropes and then having a little bit of Wi-Fi issues. I hope that's not hurting you guys on the streaming side, but it is what it is. So we'll let this go. It's publishing. And yeah, it says your website might already be updated in one location. So it's going through and updating in those different locations, and we'll go live. So once we click publish, that's going to be reflected here on our website, and you'll be able to see those changes almost immediately, depending how quick you are switching your tabs, right? But yeah, you see those there, and it's super, super useful. So really excited to be able to offer Axeptio, this consent widget. We know that privacy regulations are important to countries, to our customers, to showcase that transparency. There's also the legality and fines, a percentage of your revenue in certain places around the world, that if you don't have Axeptio installed, that you could face fines. And so we want to protect people of that. We really care about elevating the design, the experience, the functionality, and making it very easy to install on your website. It's a no-brainer. On the agency side of my work, I noticed that a lot of clients, consent management is kind of one of the last things they worry about. And that used to be true. It used to not really be, you should have been compliant, but there wasn't really a lot of repercussions. Well, we see around the world, there are more repercussions when you're not following the laws of local governments or policies or whatever it is. So you just want to be compliant. And that's what Acceptio is making super easy to do. So there's no point in waiting on it. It's something you can get installed. I'm happy to help you. There's some people that they just don't dive into all the tech side of it, but they want it on their website. Well, shoot me a DM. I can connect you also with our team. The price is super affordable. You also get the statistics and registry in the back end, which I'd be remiss to not also mention. So stats, people that are opting in, I obviously just installed this, so you're not seeing any stats here, but this would be populated. And that's super fun to be able to get on the back end as well. You can see by device and help you improve your consent rate, because the goal is to obviously increase your consent rate because you can utilize that data. As Gilliam says on our team, is it's really a key, an unlock to your data for marketing and remarketing when you get that consent opt-in. And then also, one of the biggest things I love is all this is registered. So you can see even engaging this morning, people that went to my website and clicked, the user token is there. And that token is an identifier, which if you are audited or there is concern, you're taken care of. You don't have to worry about that. So I hope this was fun for you guys. Well, hey guys, thank you for coming in today. Acceptio is an awesome platform. I've been working with them for over a year now. I recently was in New York speaking at an event, met a lot of different cool mobile apps and companies there who were really impressed with the product. A great team, hardworking, growing rapidly. Just acquired a business in Brazil, expanding there. They've opened up an office in Canada. So a lot of good things are happening within the space. Like I mentioned, if you have any questions, shoot a DM. You can follow me at Blake Wise on Instagram or chasingcreative.io. You can also follow Acceptio on Instagram at Acceptio_EU and follow along all the different things we're doing, as well as LinkedIn here, where we're most active. And you can see the different events that we're attending, workshops, our amazing representatives and team members that are experts, far more than me in the space, that can dive into each of these different things. And I want to thank you for tuning in or watching this later, which most people do with these live demos. It was super fun, and I look forward to chatting again soon.